كما وإلكم أحوات Thank you all for joining us to commemorate the 46th year since the start of a collective and successful people's struggle against marginalization, subjugation, and the injustices caused by such impositions. On the 18th of February 1975, a handful of young Tegaru men and women came together and formed the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Within 16 years, TPLF, with the support of the people of Tigray, grew into one of the most powerful armed liberation movements in Africa. Women played an important role, both within the TPLF, but also within the people's struggle. Tegaru mothers sent their children off to die for the cause, not with tears, but with empowering words of encouragement. The same mothers became the backbone of a struggle that took 17 long years. They provided food, shelter, comfort to the many young freedom fighters. The mothers and women of Tigray were the unsung heroes of the struggle. They also fell victim to horrible atrocities in the hands of the enemies, although the stories of rape were not so prominent at the time. Today, our struggle continues, not just against the fascist clique in Addis Ababa and the Eritrean and Amhara invaders, but also against the unspeakable crimes against humanity being committed against our people in Tigray. Once again, our mothers, sisters, and young girls, both those who fled and those still trapped inside Ethiopia, are paying a disproportionately high price for Ethiopia's conflict in Tigray. Their bodies are becoming battlegrounds, and the nature of the battle is so gruesome, it's hard for me to repeat. But I must and I will speak up for my mothers, my sisters, my baby sisters, whose voices have been silenced. On the 30th of January, a priest in Tigray provided an eyewitness account and said, "It's not just the rape, it's the way this is done. I know of a father who was tied up to a chair with a rope between his lips, forced to watch as 5 Eritrean soldiers took turns to rape his 12-year-old daughter. They are even forcing fathers, brothers, and uncles to rape their own children and relatives and killing them for refusing to do so. What normal father will rape his own daughter? They rape pregnant women. We are also hearing accounts of Eritrean forces killing women and raping their dead bodies after. It is difficult to find one-off rape victims. Those who have been raped are raped again and again and again. I know these are unconscionable and horrifying to the human mind, but the priest said, "I am telling you as a priest, this is what they are doing." This past week, we all read the absolute worst story about sexual violence to come out of Tigray to date. The Los Angeles Times told us about Merhawit, a 27-year-old Tigrayan woman who was kidnapped by Eritrean soldiers. For 2 weeks, she said, the Eritrean soldiers gang raped her repeatedly, fracturing her spine and pelvis and leaving her crumpled on the floor. They destroyed her body. One day she counted 15 soldiers who took turns sexually assaulting her over 8 hours. Her cries of agony punctuated by their laughter. A doctor who treated her in the hospital said injuries to her spine and pelvis means she would struggle to walk again. He said she will have to be in a wheelchair. But most of all, her psychological trauma is grave. From the history of rape, we learn that for each reported case, there are 2 or more unreported cases. The consequence of rape as a strategy of war has devastating consequences on the victim, the family, and the community. Rape is a crime against humanity, a war crime. The reason behind the rape and sexual violence is to terrorize Tagaru, break up families, destroy communities, change the ethnic makeup of the community, and spread HIV infection. The physical and psychological effects of rape on its victims are immense and long-lasting. Survivors of rape deserve justice, security, access to care, and acknowledgement. Perpetrators need to be held accountable. Despite the multitude of reports and statements issued on this gruesome matter by various international institutions, and even leaked admissions by the Ethiopian army personnel, we have yet to see something concrete being done about it. The international community keeps saying, we are concerned, we are concerned. Well, international community, we are concerned that you keep being concerned about an issue that needs immediate attention. Although the United Nations to date have issued the strongest report, it is not enough to ensure the protection of millions. Tigrayan girls and women are at risk. The Ethiopian government has failed to protect its own citizens. The most vulnerable during war are women and children. Germany, and to the world, the international community, I speak to you now. I'm appealing to you to raise your voice and help us in demanding an immediate stop to the crimes being committed on Tagaru women and girls. In order to help us put an end to these crimes, I plead with you to demand the following. 1, an immediate end to weaponized rape in Tigray by doing the following. An immediate ceasefire. The UN Security Council must send in UN peacekeeping forces immediately to remove the invading, barbaric, and inhumane Eritrean army. They must leave Tigray now. Instant and unimpeded humanitarian access to Tigray so that girls and women who are survivors of rape receive immediate and necessary provision of medical services. There needs to be immediate and independent investigation into all the weaponized rape crimes that took place during the war so perpetrators can face justice. We need restoration of all forms of communication in Tigray so that all of the atrocities and all of the stories can come out. We need unrestricted media access. So, on that note, I want to say, as today is Lekatit, I say, okay, sorry. So, as today is Lekatit, I also want to encourage us all. We have to continue to be the voices for the voiceless. I know at times we may feel discouraged and we may feel weary, but we have to go on. We have to be the voices, we have to be the faces of the struggle for our sisters, for our mothers, for our baby girls in Tigray who are being violated in the worst way. So I encourage you all, please, let's continue the struggle. Let's continue shouting, telling the world about what is happening in Tigray in the dark. We must end this nightmare immediately. It cannot go on. Our people are suffering, our people are dying, our people are being traumatized. So let us go forth in our struggle. Let us continue. Together we are strong. Thank you. Tigray ta'awad. Tigray ta'awad. Tigray ta'awad. Tigray ta'awad. So, thank you.